Good morning. Welcome to the United States Sports Academy and our weekly sports talk program. I'm Steve Butler and I'll be your host today. Joining me is Dr. Fred Cromartie, our Director of Doctoral Studies, and Dr. Brett Sommermacher, our Chair of Sports Coaching. Well, we're going to talk a little bit this morning about the upcoming NCAA basketball tournaments, finally referred to as March Madness.
I have to say, though, we are a little bit premature because we still have almost 3 weeks left and a whole lot can happen.
A whole lot could happen.
Okay, I just want to get that out there.
I was going to say that we can talk about the women's tournament for about 15 seconds.
That long?
I think we covered that.
Yeah, University of Connecticut.
Yeah, Sarah and Dr. Simmermacher and Sandy covered that a couple weeks ago.
Well, South Carolina might give them a game.
It's not going to happen. We'll just refer to that from now on as the UConn Invitational and see how that goes. Joe Lunardi, who ESPN finally refers to as a bracketologist, and he is an expert in bracketology, and he's really, really good. He in the last 3 years combined, he's missed one team. He's like 189 out of 190 or whatever the numbers come out to, 191 out of 192. So he's really good. Anyway, as of yesterday, Mr. Lunardi has his number one seeds: Villanova, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Virginia. So what do you guys think of those four teams as number one seeds and possible Final Four teams?
Okay, as of right now, okay. But remember, Virginia lost the other night.
To Miami.
Okay. And like I just alluded to, I think a lot is going to transpire over the next several weeks. That's going to even disrupt it even more. When we base it, we're basing it on the portrait of today.
Yeah, but
and it's going to be repainted over the next.
I think you're overblowing a little bit because there's not that much basketball left. This weekend is the last weekend of the regular season. Next week is tournaments, and then you have the.
But see, normally you're starting to see a lot of teams fall in their tournaments. What happens if Oklahoma doesn't go all the way? What happens if Kansas doesn't go all the way? You get somebody like Iowa State that pops up, wins their conference. That's just disruptive of everything.
Well, I think what they do with those particular teams, like these number one seeds, they go by their body of work from what they've done all season. They don't put a lot of emphasis. For some of them, they do. The borderline teams, the first four in, first four out type of teams, what they do in the tournament is very important. But I think the top seeds, they understand those lower seeds are playing for their life, sort of thing.
If Kansas
But
loses,
at that particular juncture, everybody should be playing for their life because that's the way they portray it.
True, yeah, but if Kansas loses in the Big 12 tournament, they're only going to go down to 2-9. And when you think about it, there's really not that much difference between being a 1 and 2 seed. The good news for Kansas is, and Oklahoma too. Oklahoma, if they maintain the number one seed, they're playing their first 2 games in Oklahoma City, and that's got to be a pretty good advantage. I think that another thing we got to remember is that what really messes things up is when a team like LSU, who Joe Lunardi has right now, he doesn't even have him in the first score out. He has him in the next score out.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would be surprised, but I don't think we'd be shocked if LSU won the SEC tournament.
They got the best player.
They got the best player in the country, and they've beaten some of the best teams. They've beaten some of these 5 teams that.
I kind of think there would be sort of a shock factor if they just all of a sudden turn around and come back and start playing well. Okay. They just lost one of their key figures who should be a contributing factor to the team. It's just not happening. LSU is falling apart right now, and for them to get it together, that's going to be something people are going to open their eyes up and say, "What the heck happened here?"
I don't think it'll be that big of a shock though, because anytime a team with the best player in the country wins, it can't be that big of a surprise. We saw Danny Manning with 4 people. I challenge anybody to name one of those other 4 starters from that from that Kansas team that beat Wayman Tisdale's Oklahoma team.
Danny Manning Jr., Danny Manning the third.
Yeah, see, that's my point.
I know.
When you have the best player in the country, Michael Jordan wasn't even the best. He was the 3rd best player on his team when they won his national championship.
But you have to. There's a stark contrast in that team compared to LSU's team. Kansas at that time, even though it was Danny Manning's team, he had great teammates. Even though you can't name them, but he had some other people that could play ball. LSU's got some other people that can really flat out play ball too, but they really haven't emerged as of yet.
And one of the criticisms I've heard of Ben Simmons is that he's too unselfish. Sometimes if you get down to 5 minutes and you're down by 3 and you're the best player in the country, you just got to say, well,
Give me the ball.
Give me the ball,
I'll take
yeah.
you to the house, guys. And
He doesn't do that.
he's very unselfish.
I think that's still by virtue of him being so young yet. I think
That's part of the culture too. He's from Australia.
I don't know if that's part of the culture or not.
A little bit different.
When basketball is basketball, and when you're hungry, you're hungry.
Yeah.
You eat it up.
To answer your question, though, I think out of those 4, Kansas and Oklahoma, I think, have the best chance of possibly going on and possibly winning it all. I just don't think Villanova's a great team, but I just don't think they play the teams that these
Yeah,
other
but everybody's
teams.
saying they're the ones playing the best basketball in college basketball right now.
Well, they should be. They're playing in a weaker conference.
Somebody wants you beg to differ.
I don't know. They're still calling for 5 teams from the Big East to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
So true, but we all, some of our people are probably too young. Sarah's probably too young to remember, our producer, but some of us can remember when the Big East was it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basketball.
Yes.
The year that Villanova won it, they had 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four were from the Big East. Villanova, Syracuse, and Georgetown.
Well, their game plan at that time, in terms of expansion and taking over and being noticed, was awesome. But the guy didn't realize exactly the animal that he had created, because everybody wanted it. Everybody's going after it.
He forgot one key factor. It's called football. That's what did in the Big East, because they tried to go football. They had Miami for a while, and they had Syracuse for a while. And those guys all left because of football.
Yeah, but that's because the other aspects of basketball started to pick up too, in terms of the overall marketing of it.
Well, Syracuse, Pitt. Who else went to the ACC? Syracuse and Pitt. Notre Dame.
Louisville.
Notre Dame is ACC in basketball.
Yeah,
but not in football.
They're
That's a whole
independent
nother-
still. Yeah, that's a whole other ballgame. We don't want to start that.
They're kind of attached a little bit. Okay, they're waiting for maybe some upsets, but what really messes everything up though is if some team that's not anywhere on this list
That's what I'm saying.
wins the tournament.
That's true.
That we were the 3 of us were at a basketball game in Auburn Saturday. By the way, congratulations to Chuck Person. He finished his bachelor's degree in sports science, and we gave him his diploma on Saturday. He graduated with honors. A great story. Coming back after almost 30 years to complete his degree, and we are extremely proud of Chuck. So way to go, Chuck.
Way to go.
But Auburn in their history, they had actually when Chuck was there, they finished, I think it was 6-10
Mhm.
in the SEC during the regular season, and then became the first SEC team ever to win 4 games in 4 days in the SEC tournament, and obviously got the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. So there's probably going to be 1 or 2 schools out there with a losing record that just get hot for 3. In some of the smaller conferences, it's only 3 games. But get hot for 3 or 4 days and win the tournament.
Well, I can see several teams in the Big 12, Big 10,
Yes. Mhm.
and ACC that are lower seeds that don't have great records, but are darn good basketball teams. NC State being one, Ohio State.
Wow.
And they were talking about that last night in their game. I mean, they're 10-6 now, but they were 10-5. And they were saying, well, they haven't really played the big teams and all that. But they're still 10-5 in the conference,
Right.
and they've won almost 20 games. I think they're 19 and something.
They're one of the 7 teams that
Right.
already got going to the tournament for the Big Ten. The Big Ten's loaded this year. That I personally, I think the Big 12 is the best conference from top to bottom. And
I think from top to bottom this year, they do have that marquee signature factor in terms of everyone's performance from top to bottom. They're right there. And the team you got another
Texas Tech.
Yeah, and another team that you got to watch out for in the Big 12 though, West Virginia.
Mhm.
Lenari's got them on the 3 line. So
I think it's a shame that Louisville, has done what they've done and said they're not going to, participate in the tournament and all this stuff and that, because these kids are playing some good basketball right now.
how hard is it for you guys to think of Maryland as a Big Ten team? When you look at Maryland, I still see ACC.
Yeah,
but Lenari's got them on the 3 line as a 3 seed. The other, I'll tell you who's a dangerous 4 seed well, all of the 4 seeds are dangerous.
Yeah.
Iowa State, Arizona, Duke, but I was gonna say Kentucky. Kentucky's playing a really good ball right
Yes.
now. And, you know, John Wooden always said, when it comes to tournament time, your freshmen are no longer freshmen.
That's right.
Because they have that experience in the entire year. And Kentucky just continues to get better and better. And you know, they have talent.
Well, the point guard and Murray are just unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're playing great basketball right now.
And Lee and Poitras can climb up the middle
Sure.
and get lots of rebounds and block lots of shots. Well, let's take a quick look at the bi-conference things here. Right now, Lenardi has 12 teams from the Big 12, 7 teams from the Big 12, 7 from the Big 10. They don't even have 12 teams.
Yeah, they don't.
They have 12 teams from the Big 10.
I was gonna say,
10
when did that
teams from the
12
Big
team
10.
get in there?
7 teams from the Big 12, 7 from the Big 10, 7 from the ACC, 6 from the Pac-12, 5 from the SEC, 5 from the Big East, 3 from the American, 3 from the Atlantic 10, and 2 from the West Coast Conference.
Oh, and you forgot, you're gonna have 1 from the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, we're gonna have 1 from all those guys. Well, he actually has UAB in right now,
Yeah.
even if they don't win the tournament. And so that's another, you know, I went ahead and put on here the SEC tournaments because we have, you know, being in Alabama in SEC country, the 5 SEC teams he has in right now are Florida as an 8 seed, Texas A&M as a 5 seed, South Carolina as a 7 seed, Kentucky as a 4 seed, and he has Alabama as a 12 seed. But what that means as a 12 seed is that they have to play that play-in game. And right now, according to Joe Lenardi, Alabama would play Butler in the play-in game, and the winner of that would play Purdue as a 5 seed.
Well, and everything on also what they factor into is saying that, you know, Alabama's RPI right now is right there on the fringe. It's 40. So that's going to make a little bit of a difference too. But, you know, hey, who knows? Again,
There are
Alabama.
some games left.
Yeah, there are some games left. They're going to
And then,
surprise
you know,
some people.
it depends on what they do in the tournament.
And Auburn will crush Kentucky tonight, give them a season sweep of the Wildcats, and then that'll.
What'd you say?
I said Auburn will
I
crush.
think he's got a fever.
Yeah, Auburn plays at the Rupp Arena tonight, and Kentucky may be as a
Tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tonight. Kentucky.
They play back-to-back nights.
No, Auburn.
Yeah, Alabama and Kentucky played
Oh,
last
they played
night.
last night. Yeah, Kentucky will.
It must be Saturday that they're playing Kentucky. Now I know they're playing at Kentucky this
So
week,
that's their next game.
and they beat Kentucky at Auburn, so there may be a little
Payback.
revenge
Yeah.
coming out.
That might be a 40-point game.
Bruce will be talking to Calipari before the game.
Right now, Joe Lenardi has us the last 4 in: Cincinnati, Gonzaga, Butler, and Alabama. And of course, they would all be involved in that play-in factor. You know, all 4 of those schools are perennial basketball
Yeah.
team powers. You know, Gonzaga has been one of the top teams for that part of the country for the last several years. They got a great coach, and they always seem to have a good team. And even when they're not highly rated, they always seem to do well in the tournament. Gonzaga's always been
There's another team on here I think that we all take a look at, and you're going to have to factor in. It's not considered on here. Temple.
Temple. He's got, yeah. Temple's good. The one that surprised me when I looked at it today, I hadn't really thought about it much before, but the one that surprised me is number 2 seed is Xavier. And then you look at their
Well, Xavier's playing great. They played great from the start.
yeah, they have.
Yeah.
But you just don't think about them that much anymore because of the conference they're in.
And no
Anyway,
mention of Georgetown at all.
None.
now this will be the year for
Yeah.
this will be the year for Georgetown to beat Villanova and make up for it.
Make up for it.
when Georgetown was the best team in the country. And
The fans will storm the floor.
that's another thing to point out. One of the great things about this tournament is that the best team doesn't always win.
That's true.
And
Yes,
you know, you literally have probably 60 teams, maybe not that many. No 16s ever beaten a 1 seed in the tournament, so you can probably throw those 4 teams out right now. But there have been some 15s beat some 2s. And we just a couple years ago we had Florida Gulf Coast
Yes.
won their first 2 games. So that's what makes it exciting. And I would to our viewers out there and our listeners, I would strongly suggest that this year when you fill out your brackets, do it with a pencil with a big eraser, because there's going to be a lot of you're going to have to go back in and change it after the first round. There's no
take the easy way out. Do multiple brackets.
Yeah. Do lots of brackets and take the best. But we need to have a bracket challenge here this year. just to.
That's gambling.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting close to our time here, so we'd like to wrap this up. We won't pick a Final Four. We'll do that a little bit later. But just right now, who do you think is the best team in the country?
Man, there's so many of them.
That's the problem.
I think Oklahoma's the best team in the country right now.
Fred?
I think Oklahoma is good, but I'm not going to discount John Calipari in Kentucky.
I like Kansas. I think Kansas is the best team. Jay Billis last night said he thinks the most talented team is North Carolina.
I agree.
But I would be scared if I was playing Kentucky. Anyway, we'll be back in a couple of weeks after the brackets are official, and Joe Lunardi will probably be like 68 for 68 again. They may be in a little bit different order, but it'll probably get all the right teams. As Dr. Cromartie pointed out, the conference tournaments will juggle things a little bit. I think probably the 16 teams that are on the top 4 line now will probably be pretty close there. The order might be a little different. One of the things that really is important is to win the conference tournament is so you stay on that one like we mentioned earlier with Oklahoma being able to play the first 2 games in Oklahoma City. A huge advantage. So get ready to fill out your brackets in a couple weeks, and we'll come back and we'll give you some expert advice. We'll help you win that $1 million from ESPN for getting all 63 games correct. We hope everybody has a great week in sports, and we'll see you here again next week at 11:30 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday morning. And so long for United States Sports Academy. Have a great week in sports.